So, in the last video, we published our package, right? But our package did pretty much nothing, right? It exported a function named factory that just logged something, right? So we proved that our package was working, but now we want to make it do something actually useful. So to do that, I will use TypeScript and do some test-driven development to test drive the package. So I will need a few things first. I will need TypeScript, jest TypeScript, the types for jest, and I think it's fine, and I want all that as dev dependency. So yarn add is the same as writing npm install, right? And dev dependency is useful, so it adds this to your package JSON, which is the source of truth for your package, right? It stores any dependency or anything that you have. So you have dev dependencies and dependencies. And the difference between those is that a dev dependency, when someone installs your package, it won't require those dev dependencies. But if you have on something in dependencies only, anything you require inside dependencies will be installed on your package users package machine. Well, on the machine of the guy that installs your package. So this is the difference. So dev dependencies only for you, dependencies for everybody that installs your package. We have everything, so now we need to set a few stuff up for TypeScript to work. I need to link jest to TypeScript, because right now, so let me show you. I will create my source folder with features .spec.ts. And if I run yarn test, and this will work because remember when we generated our package JSON, I specified the test command. And module means that every time I change a file, it will rerun the test. And so right now, jest isn't linked to TypeScript, so it doesn't finds the file. And the convention is that jest will look for every file inside a __ tests __ or every file with a .spec.js or .test.js and run those as test files. So we need to tell it to use that TS extension. So we will use TS jest, which we just installed. And I think the command is config init to generate a jest configuration file that will link TypeScript to the TS jest plugin. And it worked. Just config. Nothing fancy here, right? It tells it to use TS jest and test environment load. Okay. And by the way, if you wonder why I added yarn before TS jest, it's because TS jest is a command line thing, but it's not a global command line thing. It's just installed in my node modules. So when I use yarn before, it's going to look inside my node modules for something named TS jest. If I just run TS jest config init, it will fail, right? Command not found. Okay. So I think we are good to go. If I run my tests again, Now it should find something and complain that I have no test in my test suite. So this is the case, so it's fine. But we are using TypeScript, so I will use to run TypeScript init to generate a tsconfig file, which it worked. Successfully created a tsconfig file. There we go. And what are the options that we want? I think it's fine by default. Yeah, we're pretty much good. And when you are your tsconfig file with tsgest, you will get test failure for way more stuff. So your development will be way easier. But I'll show you that in a few seconds. So we are set up. We can run our tests with TypeScript. So let's do just that. Let's create a test suite. So describe is just used to describe stuff. So my package is factory. Well, the function rather I want to test is factory. But this is the main function of my package. And so what's the first feature? The first feature is that it generates an object from a blueprint. Okay, so let's do some Gherkin. Gherkin is a testing language that uses keyword to help you understand what the problem is, right? Given when then you probably already heard that. So given some precondition, so given a past blueprint, and blueprint is the model object that I expect my user to pass to me. When I call factory, then I expect to get an object matching blueprint, and I expect the returned object to be a copy of the blueprint. Well, expect return object not to be the original object. So this is just another way of saying I expect it to be a copy. Yeah, thank you. I have like 10 gigs left, but yeah. So how will we write that? So I will use a before each block. Before each for the given. Before each is just what it does. It runs before each test block or before each it block. And an it function and test function does both do exactly the same thing. And I'll show you what it does in a few seconds. So given a past blueprint. Okay, so I know that I will need a blueprint variable. There we go. So blueprint equals, and I am making it in a more global scope because I know that I will need to use it inside other functions. So my blueprint, I want it to be simple name. Yeah, let's go with just that for now. So we have our blueprint, and I'm not trying to be clever here. I used to do stuff like Batman, waffles, and stuff like that, but turns out it's usually when you go back to your tests later, like when something is not important, just prove that it's not important, and it makes it a bit more expressive. So next step, when I call factory, okay, I should get an object matching the blueprint. Okay, so test returns an object matching provided blueprint. So I expect factory blueprint to equal the blueprint. Yeah, that's it. And we get a bunch of errors, which are going to be shown here. Oh, unless I forget to run the tests. There we go. And so this is the purpose of test-driven development, right? I set my expectation and I let the errors drive the implementation. I don't try to solve everything and keep the whole problem inside my head. The errors will tell me what I need to do. So, cannot find name factory. Oh, I think variable blueprint implicitly has an any type. Yeah, this one I don't really give a shit about. So what's the next error? Variable blueprint and some like, what? I just solved that. Oh, cannot find name factory. Yeah, my window was a bit too high. But the true error starts actually here. If I refresh, there we go. So cannot find name factory. So okay, let's do that. And I will use some PHP Storm magic to create a function for me. There we go, blueprint, any, and I want that lowercase, thank you. There we go. And now it's telling us the next error is my test is failing. I expected an object, but I received undefined. Okay. So right now this is not failing for the right reason. It's telling me it expected the value to be this, but it received undefined, and I want it to fail because I return undefined and it's not an object. And this can be solved using types. And I made an error here. I actually need to call my function to get a return, and this will give us a new error. Cannot invoke an expression whose type lacks a call signature. Type void has no compatible signature. What does this mean? This simply means that here I'm returning undefined and I am trying to call undefined, which doesn't work. So it's saying that I need to return a function. And this will change our error. There we go. So I expected name, and I received null. But I think I can get a more useful error by typing things. Saying I want you to return to me a function that returns an object, and you should be an object too. There we go. Type null is not assignable to type object. Okay, that's better. Right, it's forcing me to write the types too. There we go. So we receive an object, but it's not the right object. Okay. Print. And there we go. our test is passing. Okay, so that's cool. But I had another requirement. The object should be a copy of the original object. And right now, we are returning the original object. So this does not work. And the goal of test-driven development is that when you have to implement a feature, you write the test first, and the test forces you to write the feature, right? You don't write the features and the test after. So let's do that. Test returned object is a copy of the original blueprint. So I expect factory blueprint not to be the blueprint, and it's going to fail because there we go. Right, we get the same object, the right object, right? We expect this, but to be checks for object equality. That this is indeed the exact same object, while to equal checks that it matches the object shape. And I can solve that by simply spreading the object. There we go. But there's a trick with that. ES6's spread operator is a shallow copy, meaning that if I have a nested object with T, D, and I do the same thing, that address, it's going to fail. So yeah, so first we get a type error, so let's fix that. So I know that I return an object, so this is TypeScript generic, right? I'm saying I will pass you an object of type T, and when I invoke my function, you will return to me a function that returns an object of the same type. And let's enable the generic. There we go. Oh yeah, this error. So this one, I don't remember how to solve it. I will check that just in a few seconds, and if I don't find the result quick, we won't address that right now. Come on. Yeah, right. Okay, so not solved yet. That's okay. I don't like to do that, but for now, this will work. So, and now, so let me show you the before and after. So before, it didn't know that this had an address key. Right now, using the generic, it knows that what's been passed here is what's being returned here. So it knows about the address key. Right? It won't complain. So okay, not to be blueprint address, and it fails because it's a shallow copy, right? It's just copying the first level keys, but what's nested still holds the reference to the original object. So this problem has been solved times and times again by libraries that have been tested by thousands of people, that have been proven to work. So I will not try to solve this by myself right now. This is not the point of this package. So I will use another package for that. I will use Lodash. Nope, not merge. Yeah, clone deep. So let me add that to our dependencies. Yarn add Lodash clone deep, the types 2. And that's it to our dev dependencies. There we go. Start the test again, and it will still fail because we did nothing. There we go. So it's still failing because we still are returning the original address object. So I need to import clone deep. So this is a weird syntax for not modules. TypeScript node module import. I can't never remember how to do that. Fuck, it's not what I wanted. Module resolution. There we go. No! Come on! Okay, I'll do this by memory. But because of the difference between CommonJS, which are node modules default import, and ES6 imports, you have to do some with stuff. I think it is import the name. The name can be whatever you want, right? It's the variable name you want to give to the thing that you will import. I think that's clear. Like this could be whatever. Like this doesn't matter. Equals require Lodash clone deep. And this will still fail because we did nothing. But now if I do clone deep blueprint, there we go. It works. So this is great. So next step is refactor, right? We did some stuff. Can we improve on that? There's not really much to do here. Like our function is one line, so that's fine. But our tests, are they readable? Because I find it's as important to keep your tests readable, and like your tests usually tend to need about as much refactor as your production code. I find it to be almost more important because you can trash the production code. If you have the test, you will still be able to have it work. You can recreate the production code. So it's important that the tests are understandable easy, right? They act as a documentation. If you trash the test, good luck to recreate the production code if it was lost. I'm not sure I'm being very clear here. I think it would be interesting to have something just about the test-driven development methodology. I'll tackle that in a video if you find it interesting. It's fascinating. So okay, what could be better here and make sense? Yeah, this is not very clear. It's not very clear and it's every time, but that's fine. So what is this? Well, this is actually, and this is some PHP Storm magic that allows me to extract something into a variable. This is actually make blueprint, right? Yeah, yeah, that's good for me. So make blueprint, and I will type in that as any because I don't care right now. Make blueprint, there we go, and so I can remove all those. There we go. Or yeah, okay, that's fine for now. So this is a bit better, right? I know that make blueprint is what is returned by factory blueprint. And I know that when I call make blueprint, I expect blueprint. So this is a bit more expressive in matching our test. Next functionality, and this will be for the next video, but blueprints can be overridden on make call. Tests returns deeply merged no deeply merges overrides on top of blueprints. Fail to do. And this, so this is a trail, like the what's the name? Red Hood, right? No, it's not Red Hood. It's Hansel and Gretel. The bread crumbs. I'm failing. I'm forcing the test to fail because now the next time I run it, I will know exactly where to start. So we have a new functionality. So I think this is the time to commit. So I should have done that a bit sooner. Oh, I did not instantiate the Git repo in the last video. Okay, well, let's do that then. Git init. So I'm instantiating the repository. I need to link it to my true repository, which you can do by doing that. What do I have to commit? Status. Okay, so this I don't want to be committed to my GitHub folder. This I don't want it either. This I don't want it either. So I will need to create a git ignore file. Ignore. Yeah. Get away. That git ignore. So I don't want anything inside that idea folder. Inside node modules folder. I think we had a third one. Yes, I want to save that. ID. Oh, this folder. And now if I run git status again, it doesn't want to commit the ID, dist, and node module stuff. First, I will commit the git ignore, just config, package JSON, tsconfig, and yarn lock. Thing, scaffolding, there we go. And now I think, yes, git add source git commit message, feature tests. There we go, we have nothing left to commit. But if we look at the way our package is working, we are providing something that is inside this index.js, but our package is still inside our feature spec file. I don't have the time to set up the build right now while recording the video, so we will address that later. But usually I would set up the build to be able to publish immediately the new feature to NPM. Right now, if we do so, it won't change anything, because what we have inside the dist folder is what we created manually originally. So this is not great. I like to ship every time I can, but we'll do that in the next video. Thank you. And yeah, if you have feedback, I would love those about either what could be better or what you would like me to talk about, to focus more on. And please subscribe, and see you soon.